Last weekend, the world watched 20 top-ranked golfers compete in the Bahamas in the Hero World Challenge. After finishing second in the previous two Hero World Challenges, Scottie Scheffler rose to the top, winning the competition with a 20-under performance. The Hero World Challenge also saw the return of Tiger Woods to the competitive golf scene. The 47-year-old hadn't played since withdrawing from the Masters due to injury. Welcome back to Penn State Sports Night. I'm Owen Cameros, joined by Amanda Vogt. Amanda, this is the healthiest we have seen Tiger in a few years. What did you think of his performance in the Hero World Challenge?
Yeah, you mentioned it. Tiger Woods returned to golf at the event that he hosted, and it was the first time we've seen him on the course playing a full tournament since he withdrew from the Masters because of his right ankle injury, lingering ailments from the car crash he had in February of 2021. And 2 weeks after he withdrew, he had fusion surgery in his right ankle. There was an option to get it just replaced, but he opted for the fusion. And after months and months of rehab, he's finally back out competing. And he looked pretty good. Walking was a lot better. You hardly saw any limp. And he said the pain in his ankle is completely gone, but it doesn't mean the pain isn't elsewhere. He's had back problems for quite some time. He's battled injuries way before even the car crash even happened. And his knees aren't the way he used to be. His swing mechanics are a little bit different of where he has the pressure as he goes through making contact with the ball. But overall, he was able to put it together. And even though he finished at the bottom of the leaderboard at 18 out of 20, he finished at even par. And he battled through some tougher adversities of some stretches of bogeys, but he didn't let that kind of derail him. And the biggest factor that is the most exciting for golf fans around the world is his goal to play in one professional tournament a month. And starting in February, that will be at the Genesis Invitational, followed by the Players in March, and then basically the four majors throughout the spring and summer, with the Masters in April, the PGA tournament in May, the US Open in June, and the Open in overseas in England or Scotland, wherever, in July. And that commitment to getting back to this competitive level is what makes Tiger Woods so special, to battle through this adversity. And you could hear the confidence in his voice. He wouldn't be doing this if he didn't believe he could win. And he'll tee it up again in a couple weeks with his son Charlie at the PNC Champions Tournament.
Absolutely. Yeah, Tiger Woods, I mean, he finished 18 out of 20, but you also have to remember it was 18 out of the 20 top golfers in the world. I mean, that's not a slouch performance at all.
Yeah, it's no easy feat.
He's not playing against, everybody in the PGA. He's playing against 20 of the best. The inaugural Grant Thornton Invitational is coming up in a few weeks, which will see players from the PGA and LPGA teaming up for a 3-day event. Amanda, what is the impact of a tournament like this, and which pairings are you most excited to see in this tournament?
Yeah, well, the golf world are colliding between the LPGA Tour and the PGA Tour in this inaugural event that'll take place in Naples, Florida this weekend. It is super exciting to see the best of the best from both sides of the game come together in this team format. You have 3 days of competition in 3 different formats. On Friday, it's a scramble format, which kind of resembles a best ball. Saturday, alternate shot, which resembles the formats of the Ryder and Solheim Cups, which these players have both competed in. And on Sunday, it's modified 4-ball, where the players will each take a tee shot, but then rotate which ball they play, which will be really interesting to see how they approach different distances into greens and how that kind of works out. And the impact that an event like this makes is that they are competing for the same amount of prize money of $4 million. It might not seem like a lot if you're thinking about the prize money that the PGA Tour golfers are used to, especially in their major tournaments. But for the women's game, with their prize money just continuing to increase to finally get at a level playing field financially to the men, is what makes this collision of golf that much greater. And the teams that I'm looking forward to the most are these 6 golfers right here. Nelly Korda and Tony Finau have so much experience behind them. Nelly had a little bit of a setback season, but still found her way to the top of the leaderboards. And Tony Finau, the past couple of seasons, has figured it out. So I kind of like the dynamics between them. And Saeed Theegala and Rose Zhang, the 2 youngins on both sides of their game, but both proving that they have the talent. Rose Zhang won in her professional debut at the Mizuho Americas Open at Liberty National. And just the poise she brings to the course and her expertise coming from Stanford just shows that she can take on any stage. And Saeed Theegala got his first professional win this past season on the PGA Tour and has kind of a different personality. He might not have the biggest following, but he has a big game that is to his name. And Lilia Vu and Joel Damon, you might not expect it from Lilia Vu, but she does have just as big of a personality as Joel Damon. You see her kind of in some of the social media posts that the LPGA posts about her, and she kind of has her quirks about her, but she's also #1 in the world on the women's side. And Joel Damon, you might know him for all of his shenanigans through Full Swing on Netflix and how he ripped off his shirt at the Waste Management Phoenix Open a couple years back. But they can lock in and get it done. And I think the dynamics of both of these players coming together and competing this way will be a great way to show that the gaps between women's golf and men's golf might not be as far as you think, even if they typically play from different distances.
Yeah, absolutely. And it's also just, it's a tournament that will lead to a lot more viewership of both the PGA and the LPGA. Fans of the PGA are going to see these LPGA golfers who maybe they have never been exposed to before because, oftentimes the LPGA, it's just not as televised and it's not as, the golf world sometimes unfairly doesn't think of it as important as stuff like the Masters for the men's. And now you have an opportunity to see both sides of the golf game play together in just such a fun and interesting tournament. The golf world will certainly be interested in how these pairings will do this week. For Amanda Vogt and Owen Cameros, thank you for watching Penn State Sports Nights. See you next time.
Hey everybody, thanks for tuning into this edition of Penn State Sports Night.
For more content like this, be sure to subscribe to our YouTube channel, give us a like, and follow our socials down below.
And as always, we are
Penn State Sports Night.